Hey, what's going on there, folks? Good morning, good afternoon. It is the Earthmaster back here on this Thursday, June 22nd, 2023. It's about 12:15 p.m. here along the West Coast. Latest quake shows some movement in California, also a 1.5 coming into the Alaska area. That 2.7 coming in just outside of Redding, about 18 kilometers deep. We have been seeing a little swarm of activity up here into Northern California. This is associated with the Cascadia subduction zone. Got a few small earthquakes over the last 24 hours here, just into the Fortuna area. Again, about looks like about 8 to 20 kilometers deep. That's associated with the southern end of the Cascadia subduction zone. By the way, tremor last night. Let's see what we had for tremor count. Looks like about 74 epicenters of tremor yesterday. We'll check that out today and see if we got any renewed movement down here in the southern end. All right, looking at the big picture here of the earthquake activity here around the globe, or the flat scale model Earth, showing some movement off the coast here of Japan once again on a broad scale area, it looks like, into the Izu Trench. We did have a pretty deep 4.0, 310 kilometers deep, so we'll watch for some further adjustment upstream. Almost looks like we're already getting that in that area with a 4.6 just a couple hours ago. So watch this area for some further movement around the surface areas. Any big quakes going on overnight? Doesn't look like we've seen anything major going on. A little bit of activity here across the Java Trench off the Sumatra area. There's that movement off into Japan. New Zealand did have a 3.2 coming in. I believe that was from last night. Let me see here. Near the New South Wales area of Australia. 1 kilometer deep. I don't think USGS is going to be picking up on that, but there's a little bit of activity kicking up there in Australia. Over here around the Tonga Trench, a couple of these from yesterday and a couple from today. So we're still seeing some movement kicking off here into the Tonga Trench area, but very surface earthquake activity here, very shallow surface activity. I still think it's building up, has been building up here for a little while. So we'll continue to watch that region for some further movement. Down in New Zealand, it looks like a 3.1 coming in. I was just checking out the GeoNet servers, drums, and there's not a whole lot coming in here to the New Zealand area currently. 2 hours ago, 2.5, 2.8, 2.7, but generally light earthquake activity here across New Zealand, as you can see on the drums. There's not a whole lot going on. There's some of that activity, very small earthquake activity here across New Zealand for now. But, it sits along that plate boundary, and we've seen massive movement up north and down south, but very minimal adjustment here across this area. South America, not a whole lot showing up here. But let's check the earthquake 3D globe here with the EMSC data. This is our quiet zone today. There's only a handful of smaller quakes in this area. Looks like maybe a couple 2s and 3s down around the Chile area. Up into the Alaska region, there's that deeper movement from yesterday. Still shows somewhat active conditions up there around the Anchorage area. It looks like getting a little swarming of movement here off of this fault system, the Castle Mountain fault. A couple 1s, but also a 2.8 coming in to the area a little bit further to the south of Anchorage. Let's see what else we got here. Kind of skip California, but we'll finish the rest of this here. Bay Area, a little bit of movement north of Napa with a 1.7, and getting some activity around Reno once again. Area's been swarming off and on here over the past month or so. No major swarm down south. I don't think we've seen anything aside from that 2.7. And it looks like we've seen a 2.5 over here outside of Reno early this morning, but Southern California has been the awfully quiet zone, and it remains that way today. Texas, Oklahoma, a little bit spotty activity out there as far as earthquake movement goes. The big island of Hawaii, let's see what we got. Any major changes going on? I don't think so. Bahala area showing some movement. Let's go ahead and check out the hazard notification system here from the USGS. It's put out already. Current eruption status is paused, and it's been that way here for a couple days now. Doesn't look like there's any type of change going on. Still looking at the decline in activity. We'll continue to watch this, though, as things could progress. I believe it's just, as I mentioned here, on a pause, and it will continue here shortly. All right, space weather activity here brought to you by solarham.net. Seeing a little bit of flaring activity currently taking place here on the sunlit side of the Earth. As far as the global D-layer absorption map, no flares on the Earth, but goodness, that would be scary. But here on the sun, on the UV filter ray, looks like getting a very active region up here on the northeastern limb of the sun. Look at those magnetic features, those arches. Is coming off of a new sunspot. Just barely got a glimpse of it right here. I don't think it's been named yet, but it is making its presence known, along with a couple other sunspots in the region. This visible disk is very active in terms of the number of sunspots, but far as any complex structure out here, there's a couple to watch. This region up here, one directly facing Earth, and a pretty massive sunspot region here that does harbor a little bit of potential for some flaring. That's 3341. But we'll also watch these new sunspots coming around the bend, see what they look like. 99% chance for a C flare, M flare at 40, X flare around 10% probability. So that's the weather or space weather outlook for right now. Far as the weather goes, this is a current day 1 threat. More severe weather possible in the slight category across portions of Colorado, New Mexico, and Wyoming, with a 5% chance down in New Mexico for tornado probability. It looks like the main threat's going to be some hail, though. I've seen some tornado damage out there in Texas from yesterday. Pretty crazy. It is that time of year. All right, folks, have a good day. I'm going to jump off here. Got a pretty busy day in store. Hope everyone enjoys their Thursday. Don't worry, Friday is tomorrow. We'll catch you guys back here a little bit later tonight. Have a good one.